So as you can see, this is a front page of today's Hindu, right? So I assume that most of you are reading Hindu on your own, even or after the class or whenever the time permits. The thing is, you should not forget the basics. The basics is applying the articles. Every day you have to apply the articles that you read on a daily basis and immediately connect it to something else. For example, if you see the front page, there is a article, Operation Ajay. Operation Ajay said to evacuate Indian nationals from Israel. Okay. Is it important? If yes, in which paper will you use it, and how will you use it for UPSC in the long run? Yes. GS2, International Relations and Indian Diaspora. Okay. What is the purpose of, how will you use it? How will you remember it? What is the takeaway? What is the takeaway? 1 year down the line, why will you remember the name Operation Ajay? Ajay or Vijay? It's Operation Ajay. Evacuation of Indians. Okay. So there is a possibility that they may give you a group of operations and group of countries also. Yes or no? For example, Operation Ajay, Kaveri, right? Operation Dost. All these are earlier operations done by Indian government to rescue Indians from war-stricken places or war-affected areas or conflict zones. So because you have to remember it for prelims, and you can also remember it for mains as humanitarian assistance, right? Above all, it is also responsibility of Indian government to protect and safeguard its citizens. Just because I am not in India, that doesn't mean it's not India's responsibility. India is responsible for protecting the citizens. Okay, so like this you can interlink. Okay, what else can you learn from the newspaper front articles today? The basic exercise, day 1, I told you, right? Every time you see an article, you are supposed to remember, I can use this article somewhere, which paper, and all those things. For example, this article, Rajasthan election put off by 2 days, right? Is it important? Why is it important? Sorry? Who announces elections in India? Not government? Is it election commission or government who announces elections? Election? For sure. Okay. What is the article related to? 3. What is the article for election commission? Is election commission a constitutional body? Polity classes అయ్యాయి కదా, అవుతున్నాయా? ఓకే, దట్ ఆన్సర్ విల్ నాట్ చేంజ్. అవుతున్నాయి, అయిపోయింది, రివిజన్ కాలేదు. ఓకే, సో ద ఆన్సర్స్ ఆర్ స్టాండర్డ్, డోంట్ వరీ, బట్ ఇట్స్ యువర్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ టు రిమెంబర్. Right, it's your responsibility to remember articles. Okay, right, next, anything useful in Hindu today? No? Only editorials. Apart from editorials, what about this? How can election commission control or dictate a state government? Election commission RAPS. What is RAPS? RAP? Oh, sorry, I muted myself also, no? Right, so how can EC RAPS Telangana government head of polls transfer. Who can transfer IAS officers, IPS officers? State governments, right? Though you are an all India service officer, you have a home cadre. That means you are under the state government. They can transfer as they want. But the thing here is, now that election commission has announced the election dates, there is a new mechanism in place called as model code of conduct. The most important term is what? Model code of conduct. As long as there is something called as model code of conduct, election commission will become very powerful. Okay, they can literally control every state mechanism, and they can also say which government schemes to be announced, which are not supposed to be announced, etc., etc. Right? All this control will go into the hand of the election commission. Why? The name itself says model code of conduct. As a government who is in power, I can unduly influence the voter. The term is what? Undue influence. Why? I have state. I can go for publicity. I can put ads on Hindu paper every day. For example, Mr. KCR can put his face on everyday Hindu newspaper, Inadu newspaper, Sakshi, etc. and say, I am doing this for the state. I am doing this for the state. Actually, publicity is given to whom? Mr. Chief Minister. But Chief Minister is also the leader of the political party. Yes or no? Who is paying for the ads? Government is paying for the ads, but publicity is going for the party. So to control all these things, governments, we have collectively developed something called as model code of conduct. One more point you have to remember is, it's not legally enforceable. It's only morally enforceable. That means morals come into the picture. What is moral? Right or wrong? Okay. As a party, you should know what is right, what is wrong. So in ethics, there is a principle called as golden rule. What is golden rule? What is golden rule? The golden rule is, don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. Okay, the rule is what? Don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. It's very simple. I will explain. What is golden rule? Right? You require some help. Okay. You ask your friend. Right? He will help you. So as a human being with gratitude, next time when he is in help, what will you do? You will also help him. But when you are in a position to help and that person is asking for help and you are not helping him, tomorrow if you are in the need, will that person help you? No, right? It's like a tit for tat, karma, bad karma, right? Do bad things will happen. Do good things will happen. So in the same way, ethics promotes morals. Okay, so here what is moral? Today, imagine BJP is in power. BJP will promote itself very nicely. Again, it will win the elections. Again, it will keep on winning the elections. For 2 to 3 times, BJP has used the state power. It came into the power. Next 3 times later, Congress came into the power. What will Congress do? Congress will do the same thing. It will use the state to promote itself. So, is it correct? No, right? This is called as Matsya Nyaya. What is it? Matsya Nyaya. What is Matsya Nyaya? Bigger fish eating the smaller sheep. Rule of the mighty. Right? That means whoever is powerful will win the elections. That is not at all the purpose of elections. It doesn't matter who is in power, who is in opposition. Elections are supposed to be fair and equitable. Clear? Free and fair elections. That is the meaning of free and fair elections. So that is why we have something called as code of conduct. Okay. So it is also a technical mains question also. What will happen if we legalize the MCC? That will lead to more problems or less problems. We will discuss some other day. But you got the idea of it? Right. This article by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. All of you know who is Shashi Tharoor? Then he is an authority in foreign affairs. Okay, he is one of the authority considered in foreign affairs. He wrote a book called as Pax Indica, right? And there are so many other books that he have written. Now what is he trying to talk about? He is trying to talk about UN Security Council. So to understand this article, first you need to know there is something called as United Nations Security Council. How many members are there in the Security Council? Permanent members. There are 5 permanent members. In the given in the article, there are 5 permanent members. You can find out where the 5 members are mentioned. USA, UK, USA, UK. These are European and American countries. France, USA and UK. Right? Then we have Russia and China, which are Asian countries. Asia only, no? Yes. Now, how many continents are there? How many continents are there? 7 or 8? 7 continents are there. Do we consider Antarctica and Arctic also? Yes. Do good number of people live there? No. Then where else people are living? The remaining 5 continents. Now again think and go back and see how many continents are represented in the UNSC. All the 5 are represented. Only 3 are represented. What are left? Africa is a continent or a country? Huh? You said Africa is a country, na? Eppaninchi? Africa is a continent. So is South America. Yes or no? South America is also a continent. Good number of countries have been ignored in the global order. See, UNSC is a mirror of global order of 1945. If you look at this particular argument, the Security Council reflects the geopolitical realities of 1945 and not of today. That means these 5 countries were powerful when? In 1945. Are they still powerful? Some of them are powerful, some of them are not powerful. So that is why what should change? United Nations Security Council should change. Right? The problem is everybody knows this. There is no debate discussion needed that we need to change the UNSC Security Council. Then why is it not happening? Then why is it not happening? Very simple answer is people who are already inside are not interested to allow others. Not even veto power, general understanding. See, who funds majority of money to UN? USA or indirectly China or European countries. So when I am giving you lot of funding, okay, it's not possible for me to accept others to come into the picture. Imagine this is a classroom or this is your house. Only 5 people are happily aramse living. One is sleeping there, one is living here. Very luxurious life. Okay. Now if I allow 20 people to come in, what will happen? It will become little bit congested. Will you prefer that? No person prefers to have congested space. So that is a simple way to understand that people in power do not want to share that power. Okay. Second thing is consensus building. What is consensus building? Who should be inside, who should be outside? For example, if you ask China, should India be a P5 member? China will say no. Why? India is my enemy. In a way, I do not want India to be powerful. Which other country will be crying if India becomes a permanent member? Obviously, Pakistan. So all these countries are not happy, right? The same applies to France. France doesn't want probably Germany or other countries to come into the picture. Why? Europe has only one dominant country, that is Germany right now. So if Germany is officially recognized as P5 member, it will become even more powerful. So it's like, game of politics. So let's not read too much line by line into this article. It's a typical standard mains answer. Okay. The standard mains answer is UNSC reforms are definitely needed. Why? You can cite all the global issues from Israel, Palestine, all the way till humanitarian assistance in earthquake areas, Syria, Iran war, like this. That means the world actually have a lot of problems. We need a good working UNSC to solve all those problems. Yesterday also I was saying, right, India, USA, if all these countries come together and make Israel and Palestine sit together, that can only happen if countries like India are in UNSC. Next, within UNSC, there is P2 and P3. That is, China and Russia are one group. The remaining 3 countries are one group. That means if Russia brings something against USA, USA or France or some other country will say veto. That means the bill won't pass. Now, if I make it P10 instead of P5, okay, again what will happen? Again groupism will increase, no? Friends of Russia and Russia and China will become one gang. Friends of USA will become one more gang, and probably India will be the middle country, again saying non-aligned movement. Okay, so the point is, you are just expanding for the sake of expanding, but are you going to actually make any difference in the grassroots level, right? Next, which are the most obviously guaranteed countries to come into the picture if there is ever a reform? First is India, second one is Japan, third one is Brazil, the fourth one is Germany. Okay, we have to pick up few countries from Africa. Okay, and global south should also have some voice, like Indonesia or some other country, right? Like this, the world has clarity that who should be there, who should not be there. But there are 54 African nations. Within them, there is no consensus who should come in, who should not be there. Okay, so don't we have any hope like global systems won't reform? That is not the bottom line. Global systems will reform, but it will take some time. Example, in G20, we have seen induction of African Union. African Union have been included in the G20. Like this, probably P5 reforms will also happen one day when there is a good intent or push by countries like India and others. Prime Minister Modi and others, whenever they had these UN meetings, they went there and they clearly stated UNSC reforms are unnecessary. It's not even a discussion. What happened? Are we clear? So don't worry about this article alone or what Mr. Shashi Tharoor is saying. We will look at the last paragraph. What is the last paragraph? So while the debates keep on going around in circles for decades, gridlock continues in the Security Council, right? As we have seen, Russia, whatever I said, Russia-Ukraine war is happening and nobody could move a resolution against Russia. Why? Russia is already a permanent member of UN Security Council. And my personal observation and observation by many others also, you will read in the books as well, 90% of the global wars, conflict zones, headaches, problems are created by these 5 countries only. Okay, what is the name? United Nations Security Council. They are supposed to give what? Global security. Who are the reason for global security problems? These 5 superheroes. Yes or no? Who destroyed Iraq? USA. Who led to the creation of ISIS? Who created Taliban? USA. The answer unanimously is USA. Why terrorism is increasing in Africa, Boko Haram and all these areas? France. Okay. If you talk about Russia, I don't even have to tell how Russia has created global problems. Then China, all of you know how dictatorial China is. If we have Himalayan area skirmishes, problems and all these things, who is provoking who? China is provoking its neighbors. So what is the purpose of having a Security Council when all the rogue countries are inside the game already? This here have a template for you. The template is before you wake up, and before you wake up as a country, as a world, okay, if somebody creates rules and closes the door, then it will be very difficult to open the door and allow others. UNSC is that perfect example. Okay, in 1945, these powerful countries came together and decided that they should be inside the ring, everybody should be outside the ring. Who decided that? They themselves has decided that. Okay, now think about same rules. Global space policy. Okay, America, China, some other country, they will come together and create a global space policy. What will happen? They will be inside. They can do whatever they want to. Others have to struggle to come inside. Okay, so this system has to go away. Truly global reforms have to change. Okay. Hmm. Visible and unseen. Right. Are we clear so far? So again, as I said, aim the sky won't fall down. The bottom line is you will be bored to death. You will read the same article for 100 times. So many people will say the same thing. Your answer will not change. Intro, UNSC reforms are needed. Who are inside the UNSC? Why India is eligible? Why India is a great country? What will India do? India will change the UNSC. What are the hurdles? There is no consensus. What should be done? We should develop consensus. That's all. But is it that easy? That's the problem. So you can read 1.5 page for UNSC reforms, and for next 40 years it will be same. Okay. Do you really believe that there is hope for the planet? Will people and governments change? I will tell you in simple terms, right? If 5 people are meeting, within them there is no unity. Now we will make it 15 people. What will happen? Debates will become quicker or slower? The decision making will become even more slower. Why? First I have to convince the ego of these 15 countries, then I have to convince the greater world. So it won't become easy. Groupism will only increase. Right. And honest to God, I have no idea why this article has been written. Right? Modinomics fails to buck the trend. Okay. So without bothering our head or banging our head on what is the problem of the article, okay, probably it's my intellectual lack of capacity, right? I cannot understand it. Maybe he's in a much higher plane, right? So totally my mistake. First we'll understand simple terms. What is Modinomics? Prime Minister Modi plus economics is Modinomics. If it is Manmohan Singh, what will happen? Manmohanomics. Okay, Rao Manmohanomics. In 1991, we had reforms. They are called as 1991 reforms are LPG reforms. They are also called as Rao Manmohanomics. Okay, in Japan, Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister who was killed recently, introduced some economic reforms. They are called as Abenomics. Abenomics. That means half of economics, that is nomics, will be taken and it will be added. Womenomics, women and economics, like this. They, whenever they are bored, they will keep adding some words. Okay. So, for example, Prime Minister Nehru had his own policies for economy. They are called as Nehruvian policies. They are called as Nehruvian policies. So, like this, you will understand different terminologies which you can use in the answer writing. Point number 1. Second thing, what is so special about Prime Minister Modi's term? From 2014 till 2023, he had almost 2 terms. Next year, we have elections. His major focus is capex. At least in this term, his focus is on capex. That is capital budget. Okay, expenditure should be spent more on capital budget. This much you understood? So every prime minister will have his own policy thinking. Some will be more interested in pumping money. Some will be less interested in pumping money. Some will be interested in pumping money in revenue expenditure. Again, for you beginners, right? There are 2 kinds of expenditure. One is capital, the other one is revenue. In simple terms, if you are constructing a school, that is capital expenditure. Okay, money that you will spend for maintenance of the school is revenue expenditure. Capital means one-time investment. You will construct the school, it will be there for next 50 years, no problem. But will the fan, bulb, lights, all these things have to be changed? Salaries have to be paid, pension has to be paid, ground has to be maintained. All these are what? Revenue. Recurring expenditure, RR. Recurring means revenue. Regularly recurring revenue expenditures. Okay, whereas capital is one time, more or less. Okay, now which is good? As a country, you need both. Yes or no? You can buy bike one time, but you have to put petrol regularly. So both are equal. But earlier what happened is people spent more money on petrol rather than buying the bikes. Okay. So again, as I said, I'm not going into the depth of the article. I'm trying to give you the macro keywords. Okay, Modinomics you understood, right? The policies of Prime Minister Modi in different policies. Okay, he has his own clear-cut idea. Then there are two kinds of expenditure. One is capital, the other one is revenue. Capital is long-term. Now Prime Minister Modi is focusing more on capital expenditure. What is the advantage of capital expenditure? It will create a multiplier effect or positive spillover effects. If you construct an airport, that airport will lead to more transportation, more employment. If you construct road between city A and city B, more transport will happen, more economic activity will happen. All these are good things. Now, one last concept here is stimulus. Stimulus, S-T-M-I-L-U-S, stimulus. What is stimulus? Normally, when do you use the term stimulus? Now, forget about economy. Normally, what is stimulus? Stimulate. To stimulate, right? What do you do? To make that person respond. Yes or no? That is the basic purpose of stimulation. Stimulation is external pumping of something so that that thing will become active. Yes or no? That is stimulation. Right? So the basic logic is like this. When economy is very dull, slowed, okay, it is the job of the government to pump money. It is a job of the government to pump money. That pumping of money is called as stimulus. Okay. If I pump more money when you are sleeping, that means when economy is down, economy is supposed to recover. When economy is already doing well, if I pump more money, what will happen? It will lead to inflation. Okay, I hope that's a simple understanding. Because your economy classes haven't started, I cannot explain to you business cycle, it will take 1 hour, but simply understand, when the economy is doing very well, it is called as boom. In boom time, I don't need to pump money. Who am I? Government. When you are in recession or depression, that means when you are in low state, I have to pump more money. COVID is a perfect example. COVID is boom or recession? COVID is always down, right? So when COVID is happening, what should I do as a state? I should pump more money. When I pump more money, what will happen? It will lead to economic activity and market is supposed to come out. This much you understand, right? When you are low, pump money. When you are high, don't pump money. This process is called as external stimulus. Okay, as she was saying, that is also called as stimulus package. It is called as stimulus package. These are the terms that you need to understand that article if you want to read it. Nothing, you won't lose a 1% also, right? V-shaped recovery and all those things, they will be taught in your economic classes, not for now. Okay, next. This is a really interesting article. You will understand Indian society and migration. That is where UPSC will pick up questions from. Delhi migrants approve the idea of remote voting. So that is a mains question in itself. So just focus on the thought process. What is remote voting? All of you know voting. Where do you vote? Okay, good. You vote in polling booths. Thank you. Right. Where is that polling booth? You are from some other district. Is your polling booth in different district or in the same district? It should be in the same district, same constituency, same ward. Okay, that means your movement is restricted. That means if you are a voter from Anantapur or some other district, you have to go there and vote. You cannot vote in Hyderabad. So that is why during election times people will take leaves. Why? So that they can go to the native places and vote. This is called as civic duty. This is called as civic duty, basic duty of a citizen. Why? Elections are the festival of democracy. Elections are the festivals of democracy. So you have to participate in the democracy. But the problem in India is this particular paragraph will tell you the grassroots level reality. Read that paragraph. What is it saying? Majority of the migrants in Delhi come from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Rajasthan. Okay, and why are they coming for? Primary reason is employment opportunities. Next is family related reasons, and third one is because of marriage. So when people are moving away from their hometowns and settling in Delhi, okay, when the elections happen, can they vote in their respective villages? They are migrant laborers. They hardly make 400, 300 or something per day. If they take a break, they go home and vote, come back for 3 days, they are losing their revenue. Okay, so isn't it a loss? Why? Every single vote matters. In democracy, every single voice should be heard. Okay, so obviously now you can link 2 plus 2. What is remote voting? A person who is a migrant from Uttar Pradesh can also vote in Delhi itself, but not going back to his hometown. Why that's a good and bad idea, that we have to discuss. Why is it a good idea? Political equality is respected. That means every single vote matters and we are making it easy for him to vote. Okay. Why is it a bad idea? Why is it a bad idea? What can be the reasons? First of all, how do you solve the problem that it is me who is voting for you in that particular constituency? That's a technological problem, right? We are a country with fake votes. Yes or no? People vote in front of on behalf of someone. So how do I cross verify that you are the same person that who is voting for me in some other constituency, right? So that's a technological problem. EVMs, Aadhaar card linkage, lot of technological drama has to be involved. And we are a country of sore losers. That means when you lose elections, you will blame what? EVMs. People usually blame EVMs. If you win, it's okay. EVMs are working fine. If you lose, EVM have been tampered. You understand the drama, right? So there is a technological barrier, but sooner than later we have to introduce remote voting. Not only this, government is also considering NRI voting. People who are staying in USA, other countries, they can also vote for their respective representatives in the country. So that is a demand. There is a genuine demand that people cannot come and vote for you in 2023, right? But at the same time, this problem has to be crossed through technological solutions. But there are some limitations to the technology as of today. But one day, my dream is very simple. Anybody can go to any voting booth. They will put their retina or biometric, and it will scan and it will tell you, you are a voter who belong to this constituency. These are the people who are contesting. Press a button, voting done. Okay, life becomes very, very easy. But it is again a science fiction movie as of now. Yes or no? We need to develop that kind of infrastructure. Internet, database, biometric verification should be accurate. Right? Then we will remove the malpractices in elections. Right? We are moving in that direction. Telangana is one of the first states in the country to pioneer Aadhaar based biometric facial recognition. That means if you walk into a voting booth, it will scan your face and it will verify, yes, this person is Sumant only, no other person. Then he will be allowed to vote. That's a good thing or bad thing? Good thing only, no? Sure. As a collector, probably one day you will head elections duties, right? You will be the responsible person, right? And you might think, we used to discuss all this in class long ago. No? It will be a happy moment. Share me some photos when you become collector, right? Very, very interesting article. I think the judgment also is there. So why is it interesting? Why? Which paper? First of all, you have to remember this particular act, that is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act 2021. Okay, so it allows abortion in exceptional cases up to certain weeks, right? That is point number one. Legally in India, after a particular amount of time, you cannot go for abortion. You can go when there is extraordinary circumstances, but government, law, medical board and all these people also have to approve, right? It is for the safety of whom? For the mother and the baby also. Okay. Next is, it's in GS paper 4. What is GS paper 4? Ethics. Within ethics, you have a concept called as applied ethics. There is concept called as applied ethics. See, these are still evolving areas, right? So, why is it controversial? Sorry. Extremely sorry. Yes. Why is it controversial? Some religions believe that you should not go for abortion. Second, who should have the bodily autonomy? Who should be the final decider of the choices that the woman makes, right? It is the mother who should have the ultimate choice whether to deliver that baby or not deliver that baby. Yes. Next, what about the rights of the fetus? For example, when does life start? Does that start in 3 months, or only when you see a baby in the hand will you believe that it has some rights? Yes or no? So all these are called as consent based issues. Consent. Are we taking the consent of the baby, the mother? Is it informed consent? Is it necessary? See, you have to also remember the socio-economic conditions. For example, the family of the husband came to know somehow that the baby is a girl child. Okay, they will force the woman to have abortion and all these things. So, Indian government had brought in this law not out of free will but out of a pressure from the society that you have to protect the girl child. But in the process, aren't we reducing the rights of the woman to an extent? Yes or no? See, this is a very good case for ethics, applied ethics. We will discuss in totality once the entire judgment is out and some articles will come on this. But you have to keep an eye on what? The rights of the woman, the rights of the baby, the socio-economic conditions. Okay? Ultimately, we sometimes forget that not every woman is privileged or they have the choice. We have to remember the family conditions, socio-economic conditions. Socio-economic conditions also play a role. Just keep an eye on this article, read it, whatever you understand, keep it, but one day we will discuss more about it. Okay, next. This article is about governance, RTI, right? And this is a sad story of the situation. What is it? 3.21 lakh appeals are pending with the information commissioners. Okay, and how long it will take? It will only take 24 years in West Bengal to solve all the pending cases. And that's written there, no? If the cases are disposed one by one, it will take good number of years, even 4 years in some cases. Normally, why should we be bothered about it? It is about good governance. It is about good governance. If more RTA cases or any cases are pending, okay, what will happen? Why did you file RTA? To bring something that government has done. I filed an RTA. You are supposed to respond in 30 days. You are not responding. I filed it to the higher authority. They didn't respond. Appellate authority. Then I have applied for the information commissioner. Or you refused to give me the information. The case went on to higher level, that is information commissioner. Already good number of months have passed by the time I filed the application. After that, you don't have enough time or vacancies are there. For some reason, you are delaying it. 5 years down the line, you gave the information. After he mentioned, you gave the information. By that time, what is the purpose of it? Corruption has been done, long gone. Good governance means what? If somebody is doing a crime, immediately you have to put a torchlight on him. That is the purpose of RTA, right? RTA means light. Light is thrown on the crime. When the person is doing crime, should you throw the light immediately? Then he is caught red-handed. At least they will rectify, or at least they will have fear. You have done the crime, you went away. 5 years after, I will come and put the torchlight. Will you still be there? Then what is the purpose of having a torchlight? The torchlight here is right to information. Are we using it effectively? There are some systemic hurdles. So that is again a mains question. What is the mains question here? Though RTA Act is effective in bringing out the corruption, it has some systemic issues. Discuss. What will you discuss? One of the problems is pending appeals. How many cases? Lakhs and lakhs of cases, especially in some states. Clear? See, for you it may not make any difference, but for a poor person, for someone who is applying for Narega or any government scheme something, RTA actually makes a lot of difference in their lives. Yes or no? RTA is supposed to empower the people. What is the antidote to this? What is the solution to this? Proactive disclosure by the government itself in the lines of Jan Suchna portal of Rajasthan. There is a portal called as Jan Suchna portal in Rajasthan, where the Rajasthan government officially declares all the data. Every state government should proactively have a website and disclose every data they have. So then I don't even have to file RTA, right? Or else there can be some mechanisms like 3 days file movement or 30 days file movement. That means a file has come to your table, it has to move to the next table in the next 1 week automatically. You have to either say you are missing these things, get them back, or if everything is there, you have to forward it. You cannot keep it on your table forever. This process is called as file movement. Okay, are we clear so far? Right. Why do you think is the problem? Or what do you think is the problem? Why is this happening? Lack of political will. The single biggest answer is lack of political will. The state governments do not want the transparency. They are happy maintaining a opaque system. They are happy behind the veil. So that is why these things happen. Or else it's not even a big problem to be solved. Okay. So these are the important articles from Hindu. And you have 2 good articles in Indian Express. If you can make time, please read these 2 articles. Best women for the job and gender reality check. What are they about? They are about Nobel Prize for Economics. They are for Nobel Prize for Economics, right? So what did you understand? Have you read any articles on Nobel Prize for Economics? What did you understand? How much percentage of women working? No? Okay. Comparison between women working and men working. Okay. That is labor force, right? Good. What else did you understand? Can someone tell me what is U hypothesis? U-shaped recovery. What is U-shaped recovery that was mentioned in the Nobel Economic Prize. First of all, it's not Nobel Prize, right? The name of the Nobel Economic Prize is different. Okay, next, it is given to a woman this time, and she has discussed about women's involvement in overall economic activity. What is so special about this? What is U-shaped recovery, or sorry, not recovery, U-shaped hypothesis?
Sir, when the economy is not really mature, when the economy is very agrarian, women will be participating in the economy, but more in an informal sense.
Okay.
Doing agricultural labor work or supporting family. But when the technology rate progresses, so the involvement of women in economy will come down, and they will be working as caretakers in the home more or less. And again, when the economy even matures like that of US, which has fastened manufacturing and services, and when the economy is really performing well, again the women will start coming into the economy in real sense. The women labor force participation rate will be more.
So my question is, I will explain to the rest of you what it is. My question is, where do you think India is right now in that U? See, what is U shape? I am here, I am doing well, suddenly I came down, then I started improving. This shape is that is not recovery. Here it is U-shaped growth. Okay.
I think it is just improving, like in the SME.
First of all, more women came into the agriculture. Why? Agriculture, as he was mentioning, is informal. When industrial revolution and all these things were happening. See, this is not for one woman. This is for a country. This is for what? A country. Let's imagine Indian woman. Okay, Indian women came into agriculture. Lot of women were working in agriculture. Slowly industrialization started. When industrialization starts, or when your middle class grows, or when your income grows, who will drop first? If husband and wife are working, family income improved, who will stop working first? Women will stop working. So one of the reasons is agriculture, slowly development happened, women stopped working. Okay, then again, thanks to service sector jobs and other opportunities for women, now again more women are coming into the market. See, agriculture, development, again services. So this is a U shape for country, not for a single woman. Okay, that means if a country is still having lot of agriculture but not industries or service sector, probably their U shape is still high, more feminization of agriculture. But if a country is having a lot of service sector opportunities, the U will be here. That means more women have moved from agriculture to service sector jobs. This is what she discusses about. Okay. Next, what else? She also talks about the role of, for example, having the first child. When your career is growing like this, okay, men and women, husband and wife, for example, both of them are going, okay, and the woman is having pregnancy, right? The couple is having pregnancy. Then suddenly the women have to drop, but the men will keep on going. For that 1 year, there is kind of break for the woman, which will affect her career choices or career growth. So there are so many hidden things which we don't understand about women employment. We normally assume if a country is developing, automatically women are also developing, but that is not the case. That is exactly why she got the Nobel Prize. See, this is called as bias. Yes or no? Before her research, we all assumed that, or the world assumed that, if the country is developing, automatically women will develop. But that is not the case. You have to do policy interventions. And very clear, she never mentions solutions. In her research, she only cites the problems. If you do this, this is what is happening. Okay, as a policy maker, it's your job to take the inputs and find new solutions. Okay, right? For those beginners, right? In economic survey few years ago, we had this U hypothesis. Government of India's publication economic survey, they tried to explain why Indian female labor force participation ratio is less. Everybody is complaining that women are not coming into the workforce. Okay, one of the reason why women are not doing jobs is because women are actually studying. It's a good thing, no? See, when I assume that women are not working, I will assume women are being suppressed and all these things. Actually, women are not working. Why? After 10th class, instead of coming into the jobs, after 10th class going in, they are going into degrees, graduations. For the 5 years, there will be a low. But if more women are graduated, they will find more jobs in the service sector. That's a good thing, no? So like this, blind spots are there for policy making, right? That is why she won the Nobel Prize. Okay, we'll continue the discussion tomorrow on the same topic. Yes, any questions so far?
Sir, can we draw like similar parallel between inequalities and economy? Like usually, the normal understanding is that when an economy grows, automatically it will trickle down. But the economy is growing, but the wealth concentration is still the wealth is concentrated with very few people. Inequality.
So there is no you, right?
No use, sir, but the observation that is here. I mean, as the economy grows, the assumption is that.
See, that is the crux of Bhagavati Sen debate, no? Amartya Sen and Bhagavati Sen, they had a debate. What is the debate? Amartya Sen says trickle down theory is a failed theory. Whatever you are saying is trickle down. Concentration has been done and it has to come down. Amartya Sen is very clearly saying it is not happening by default. Right? So as you are saying, concentration has happened, but now it has to come down to the bottom. Why is it not coming down? There are a lot of issues. Okay? Right. See you all tomorrow then.